everyone. It is so good that so many of you are live, and I am excited for the topic and for the woman. I'm a woman. Yeah, I'm about to introduce, which is Gabrielle. Welcome. It is such an honor that you are here.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. Excited to see you all. Thank you for coming and joining your energy with ours as we start this morning for me and afternoon for many of you, just to bring a new sunshine and light to your day. That's going to be our focus, right? Working on the heart and feeling into the heart and helping us all to expand as we heal. So that's what we're going to talk about.
I am super excited about that. And I also would love for you to introduce yourself, who you are, and what it is you do on the planet.
Well, my name is Gabrielle Spencer, and I am a quantum heart healer. I work with you to heal your emotional body, your heart, your mind, your spirit, and your soul on the quantum multidimensional levels. I have found through my work that by connecting with your higher self and your guides and the celestial masters, and I work very much and most often with Mother Mary and the golden beings of light who are from the golden sun to assist in the healing, that we work to move the anomalies, the traumas, and the pains that we have acquired through our experiences in all of our existences, which are not past, present, future. They're all present because there's no time or space. So for a lot of us, we get caught up in what's happening in our current life and, what's my lesson that I'm supposed to be learning right now. But most of the time, that's our reminder that there's something within our quantum fields that needs to be reconciled. So that is my work, is being able to tap into your soul's records on the multidimensional level. So there's a lot of talk about Akashic records. And the thing is that Akashic records are just like your quantum fields. There are many levels to your library. And so it's about being able to access those greater levels, the levels from more of your ancient lifetimes, so that those where the issues started can actually be discovered. And I say reconciled a lot, but handled, right? So that everything, the whole situation for everybody, not just yourself, but all the people that were involved or the beings that were involved, can also be healed. Because, as we say often, and I find it's kind of always overused, but we're all connected. And so we're all connected throughout our multidimensional existences as well. And so our healing and helping others to heal, that just sends the frequency consciousness to a greater level for you when you not only heal yourself, but you're healing all those that were also involved in the situation. That's it in a nutshell.
I love it. It's also a great intro because I'm like, okay, let's ask questions. Everyone wants this. Like what you're now sharing, everyone wants this, because wouldn't it be amazing that we can access our soul records and then allow ourselves to be healed? And then what is also happening is that people have things in their lives, some around health, around their relationship, their mission, their money, like whatever's going on. And so how do you allow these topics that seem to continue and return, right, in different ways, in different levels, how would you heal that, unify, whatever word you use? How does that work?
Well, it's really interesting. And we've come a long way in energy healing, haven't we? And we used to ask the questions specifically related to, why am I having money problems? Or why am I always struggling? Or why do I never have good relationships? Or, why am I always betrayed? And we always started the conversation addressing the specific problem that we were experiencing. Okay. So we did a lot of release work on our beliefs and our emotions and thoughts and all these things that, were definitely needed at the time, because those were kind of the surface layers of the issues. Right. And we got some relief. Sometimes it was short-lived and it would feel like there was a reprogram that started it all over. And then we'd get really frustrated and go, okay, there must be something I'm missing. That's my favorite. I'm missing something. What is it? Right. So it is in the questions, but we're now at, this whole season that you're doing is about the new human. And what it really means to me, this new human, is that we've been given access to greater levels of our own self. And that's the new human. We're no longer at those surface layers that we've been dealing with for years. We're now being given access to the greater levels of self. And so it again is the question, what is our question? And so my question when I go and connect with your higher self, and the same thing that you can ask your own higher self, is what is in my quantum consciousness that needs to be healed, that needs to be reconciled or released? And this is the question. Notice we're not asking about money or relationships, but your own soul knows the order in which things must be released. So basically, we are no longer relying on our own minds, our own thoughts, and our own emotions, but rather we're stepping out of, this is my new favorite, it's to realize that it's not about controlling anything. And that's really what it is. And control is an element of the ego and of the mind and of free will. So if you take, everybody says, oh, but I have free will. Yes, you do. And it's actually almost one of the worst things, because free will and ego and pride and mind all go together, right? Because we think we know best and we can only see option A and B. So that's all we have. And we limit our own ability to allow anything else to happen. We always say, well, the universe is going to provide. However, because we have free will, we stop it cold in its tracks. We just shut off because we are not actually open to how something may actually become arranged, and it doesn't look right, or it doesn't feel right, or we don't trust it. And so it essentially comes down to trust in God, which is universal energy. It is God energy. God energy makes up everything. And so the question is that we are moving out of our free will, ego, mind control. We're allowing our soul to fully come down into us, right? We're merging. That's as above, so below. That's what that means, that we are merging. Well, what keeps us from merging, like I said, is when things are out of alignment. And the way to bring it back into alignment is the heart. So quantum consciousness, my thrust in what we're doing is to heal the heart and the emotional body, so we can bring ego. You cannot kill it. It's my favorite when I hear people say, just kill it, just override it. But then again, that's just control. We're not overriding anything. We must bring everything into alignment. Every aspect of us, ego, pride, mind, it's all part of us. We're human. This is what we are. We have to accept it. And for a lot of people, that's hard to do as well. We don't like being human. It's very limiting. And so we have some issues with that because we've been many other beings. And so there's many things that are going on, but most importantly, we are healing the heart so that we can bring the ego into alignment with your divine self and then your divine plan, so that it's not overriding what's actually available to you.
Oops, I was actually dimming my noise because it's raining so loud. And then the cursor didn't work. I'm like, she's bringing sunlight. Yes. And so, a question that came up to me was like a lot. And it's like, I love how you say we don't override the ego, but what is the elevated purpose of our ego once we actually align everything? Because now it sometimes seems this thing in the middle, but it has a purpose. And so what is that?
Well, the original purpose of ego, mind, is that it keeps us safe. So I want to go back to something everybody knows, and it's the scale of consciousness, right? So we've talked about this power versus force and all that. And the incarnation, when we come here, we all, except for maybe the Dalai Lama and the Buddha, we all come in at the frequencies of 0 to 200, let's say, which is the fear category, which is guilt and shame and abandonment and aloneness and depression and fear and these things that we all emote, right there. It's really the emotional field. So we could call it fear/emotional field. This is where we have all of our emotions and they're just all over, vomiting all over our lives. And that's really what is driving our lives, is our emotion, right? And so for a lot of us, we close it off, or we're way over emote, or we're pretty much out of balance regardless. And that's the human experience. The ego and the mind are set up to help us, right? They're to keep us safe. It's Maslow hierarchy of needs. We're all in level 1 when we get here, and we're all survival based. This is how we think and how we operate. It's to provide for our needs and our shelter and our love and things like that. That's in our survival package. And those emotions of 0 to 200 are in the survival package. So think of it like we all got package A when we came in, and our evolution is to resolve the hold package A has on us. It's to help us move through those emotions and to heal ourselves so that we can move to that 200 and above. And when you start over to that 200, of which is moral courage, that is when you actually start to be filled with spirit and in alignment. That's how you actually begin that journey. So it takes a lot of work, and I'm not going to say it doesn't, right? We've all been working for a long, long time. And it's like, when is this over? Well, it's over when there are not so much emoting going on, and that our ego is then able to kind of relinquish its job, which was to keep us safe, to keep us, moving along so that we don't, not survive, right? It's all about survive. So mind and ego, that's their job. And we're kind of, in our society, that's what we promote. We promote thinking, right? We promote logical action. And that's great while you're in the emoting frequencies. That's fantastic. However, we all get stuck, right? And it's really hard. So as we begin this healing of the emotional body, we stop emoting so much. We start to be able to be observers of our life and actually be able to see things with higher consciousness and understanding. And we don't make everything about me, 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 me. Oh my God, they did that to me, or so-and-so did this. And we're triggered all the time. When we heal the emotional body, you aren't triggered anymore. You just look at it and you go, huh, that happened. And that's so freeing. And when this starts to happen, your ego is not triggered. I've got to protect you. You've got to do something. That was my thing for years. You have to do something. What are you going to do? Is that what everybody asks you? Your friends call you and they go, so what are you going to do about blah, blah, blah? And you're like, I don't know. I keep thinking about it and I'm praying about it and I'm meditating about it. And I can't get anything different than, the same thing, because your mind is overriding intuition. And that's because you got the emotions happening. So instead of praying about it, hoping that somehow this is going to override this, we have to actually work on the emotions that are causing you to feel insecure, or that you don't have stability, or that nobody loves you, or you don't belong. I don't fit with anybody, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I grew up with my family believing, and I would say it to my mother as a little girl, I have to be adopted. I know I'm adopted. I do not belong in this family. I have 6 siblings. Okay. I'm the 5th child of 7. That's quite a thing to say to your mother, who is like, I assure you, Gabrielle, I birthed you. And I'm like, no, I'm sure I don't belong here. So I came in, right? I came in with that feeling of not belonging and being completely different than my own family, that I was not understood, that I was not accepted. And so this is what all of us have to some degree. And I can't tell you that I've really met many people that are on this path that haven't gone through this somewhere in their life, where it's been very hard for them to fit in and find their people. Well, we find one another as we begin to work on our emotions and work on allowing more and more light to come into our hearts. So when we've reached a point now where I feel like many people are saying, well, I've done 8,000 activations and I've done all of this work and I've had healers and I've just, what else? What else? And I feel that because I've been there, right? And so part of the formula is surrender. And I can tell you, if people are on that have followed me over the years, they know that I would never, ever say the word surrender. Never. It was like admitting failure just really pissed me off. Don't know. And I even had another word, which I can't even remember now, but I used another word for like how I could not surrender. It was all about, no, it is
not surrendering.
No,
yeah.
I cannot surrender. That is wrong. That is a wrong word. And so finally, over this last year and a half that I've really stepped out of the larger healing arena and really worked on myself and my family, I realized recently, it's only recent discovery, that I had surrendered. And it was no big fanfare, no big freaking parade. I just let it go. I just let the need to control everything go. And that is so hard for most everyone to just allow. And so now I find myself praying for strength and courage. Give me the strength and the courage to do what I need to do next, to step back out into this arena, put yourself out there, keep going, keep assisting. There's just many things in our lives that sometimes you feel like, I've done enough. Do I get to just chill now? I just want to sit back and do nothing. And the answer is no, we all have to band together and we all have to keep going. And so this quantum level that is open to us now is allowing us to heal at another level that we were not able or did not have the frequency to access previously. That is the new wave that we're in. And this is the freeing wave. It's like gives me goosebumps. This is the freeing piece where we can actually more easily bring that ego into alignment with your divine self. And then it isn't triggered. And I'm just going to say, the ego and the need to control ruins our lives totally. It may have gotten us where we are today, but however, I think now if I knew 20 years ago what I know now, but it wasn't available, right?
No, because the frequency is different, right?
That's right, because we've done all this work.
Yeah.
So
it was not that you've been doing stupid stuff.
No.
No. It was part of
the journey. Yes. So everybody who's here saying, I've been doing healing for 20 years. Guess what? That's what brought us to this spot. So collectively, the frequency is higher and we're being given access to that next level. I always think of it like a bank vault, but you can think of it like an office building, right? You've got a 50-floor office building. And so we were only allowed, level 1, then level 5, then we jumped to level 15. And now we're up at level 80. And you're like, how do we get there? 20 years of work or more. I mean, there have been people on this journey who opened the door for the rest of us even to get in the building. And so we are now working on this next level, which is allowing us to go deeper, to truly heal those emotional body triggers on a quantum level. And when our focus is not on survival needs like a job or love or money, and it is on the will and the desire to be connected to God's love, to be willing and able to accept it, that is when all the rest, those survival things, it's like sunshine just pours down and things work out without a lot of doing. It doesn't mean we sit around. That is not what I mean. I mean, it's where you are listening to the directive. I mean, I have many examples in my own life where when things were, we were in more alignment and things fall into place and you're like, holy cow, it really works, right? And then somehow you get offline and you're like, wait, how did that happen? How did we get out of alignment? It's because we got busy with our daily lives or our, my children and, various other things. And then you realize, oh man, we got to rein this in and bring us back into alignment with higher frequency again, because we started to miss it. And everybody will know this when this happens, because everything starts to fall apart. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought I was in alignment. But see, it's like an everyday job. We have to every day be connected and reinforce it and expand it. And it's all about expansion of light. And the more that we do that, the more that it's not that life is always great. We are humans and we are constantly evolving. And the more that we do it and the more that we bring light to it, the easier it is to go through it and come out the other side less damaged. I mean, let's just be honest, right? It's all about minimizing damage and being able to use our frequency from our hearts, because that's our portal to God's love and to the quantum. It is through the heart.
Amen. I love you so much. I love the way you explain, because it's so clear. And when we started before this call, I just think it's so brave to say, I just took I took 6 weeks off, but you said I took 1.5 years off, because that is really leading with soul alignment. That is really that is a different, you can say I created all these things and let's continue. I think a lot of us have been creating a lot of things, but the question is that the path to continue? Yes or no? And so I love that as a clear embodied example of how you lead with your heart. I just want to honor you for that.
It's always interesting to me, because I feel like things are always delivered just in the time that they are meant to. And I needed the time off, and I needed to get control of my runaway life, in that I just needed to stop doing. That was definitely where I was at the time, was just, oh my God, I was just doing so many shows and clients. And I was just like, I just have to stop. And it's been really interesting, because I was given the message that, March of this year past, everybody, that I was supposed to be ramping back up. But you know what? I didn't feel it. And I was like, it's okay. I'm cool. It's all right. I'm on my path and I'm growing. And I actually think that I've grown more in the last 6 months by not pushing myself to meet this, whatever, understanding I had, just allow it to unfold. And it's made everything so much richer in my own life. My children are young. I have an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 12-year-old. And it's really beautiful to help them to embody spirit.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. I'm like, oh, it's the most important part of my work, is helping them to embody this heart work and helping them to understand quantum consciousness, because that is where we need to be in order to anchor more light here and to help stabilize this, let's say, humanity and the planet in alignment with God's divine plan. That is our overall purpose. That is why we came here. And in our work and sharing, we're helping each other to heal so that we can do this job. Because it's a big job, as you can all see, right? The world feels crazy.
Do you know, you make me teary. That has not been happening here yet. But do you know, you talking about that job, like with your children, of course, I have 4. And I realized that mine are a little bit younger. The oldest is 14, the youngest is 3. I want to do that with them in the upcoming time because it's most significant for my 12, 14, and 10-year-old to really grasp what you now are sharing, what you do with yours, because they come at an age where you can actually just teach them all of this. So I think that is just amazing. Thank you for sharing that, because it makes me also feel so aligned with what I choose and what's important. So thank you so much.
Well, let's add to this really quickly, because in the past, I've worked with, many parents, many mothers, and they all ask, how do I help my struggling teenager? And even younger now, children are, because I'm going to take it a little bit wider here. Years ago, about 5 years ago, I was talking on these forums about the transition that we were in at that time. Okay, so at that time, imagine an hourglass where the sand comes through the hourglass, right? Everybody knows they look like this, and a little space in the middle where the sand comes through, and then there's a big thing at the bottom. And I've been talking 5 years ago about how this middle was expanding, right? And so more of us had access. Let's think of the top of the hourglass as 5D and higher, and the bottom as 3D. Okay. And so as the middle was opening, more and more of us had access to universal knowledge, right? And universal energy and the understandings, and we were more channeling and psychic abilities. And these things were opening up more and more and more, and more people were able to access it. And at the time I was talking about how this was opening and opening and opening, and that it would continue for more of us to embody these higher knowledge and energies. But that at some point, this middle would close. And not only would it close, but that it would sever, and there would be no opening, right? It would be a line straight across. And everybody who's on the 3D side is there. That is the choice they made, to stay in the emotional energies. And the people who had truly embodied this universal knowledge and energy and the healing available would move down into the 5D. Now, I know people are talking about, well, we have 2 Earths. No, we don't. We're all right here having to be higher vibrational beings in the morass that is all around us. Okay, we are not separate. We did not come here to be separate. We came here to shift as many people into this higher frequency of God's love. That's what we came here to do. So there's no get out of jail free card. Like, if we do it, then we're out of here, man. We're done. Trust me, right? We've all begged, please let me out of this crazy loony bin. But no, we're here. And so I think part of our journey is to accept it. Now, what's happened is that this is closing. We can all see the division. I know you all can see the people that have chosen, and then those people in the middle that were in that middle bandwidth where that little, neck comes back. They are going to choose too, even if they don't think they are, because they will be forced either way. So you're going to get the Mack truck. We're over spiritual 2 by 4s. It's now the Mack truck. It's going to come. It's going to bam, and it's going to hurt. Not like it didn't hurt before. So now I can only tell you from my personal experience in my own home, in my own family, the Mack truck hurts. But when you are in alignment and your goal is to stay in alignment, you do come through it. And weirdly, it's kind of funny because I laugh to myself going, I've been teaching about this for years, and look, it actually happens. It's where it actually came out better than anything my mind could even conjure as a potential possibility. And this is where I get renewed faith. Like, oh my God, it really does happen if you just stay in this heart-centered energy and connect it. So this is what's happening out there. Okay. And so as mothers and family and friends and all that, praying for people, for them to convert, to receive God's love in their hearts, sending love and light from your heart to their heart. So important. So when my daughter, my oldest daughter, was going through her teen years, which went from 12 to 17, so we got the extended version, we had a lot of issues. She went through a lot of turmoil. And I remember being frustrated, so many times. And I really had to go back to, I'm sending her love from my heart, my mother's heart to her heart. I just want her to know and accept God's love. And right now, she's 18, and this child, we pray the rosary every night together. She is so wanting healing and so willing. And you're like, oh my God, as a mom, that's amazing. And I know that we all think to ourselves, well, I could just work on them. And I just want to say, yes, we can. But when people energetically refuse to accept healing, they don't accept it. And that's okay. It's not anything that you're not good enough or that you don't know what you're doing or whatever. Just keep sending the love from your heart to theirs. And at some point in their own time, they will open and blossom. And it's a flippin' bloody miracle where you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So it's wonderful. But it's like everything else, right? We have to stay focused and we have to stay in alignment. And the more that we are, we will be like the Pied Pipers and people will be coming with us. We're all going together to the same place.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I also know you have a special heart experience.
Yeah,
right?
Let's do it.
When you're ready.
All right. So I teach a very simple way for people to go into a meditative state. Because I don't know about you all, but I don't have the patience to really, I don't know, go into like long meditation. So it's very simple. You're going to just close your eyes and you're going to take 3 deep breaths. And in those 3 deep breaths, I just want you to relax your physical body. Relax your mind. So everybody close your eyes. Take your 3 deep breaths and just allow your physical self to relax. And we ask for the golden beings of light to fill you with golden light all around you and within you. Now I want you to roll your eyeballs up toward your eyebrows for 3 breaths. And then relax your eyes. And this allows your brain to move into the meditative state. It's like a switch. Now just relax your eyes. And we begin with Mother, Father, God. It is commanded that all of us gathered here and listening in the past, present, future, be connected to the highest conscious light vibration of God. And through this connection, we connect with Mother Mary, with Sananda, Archangels Michael, Raphael, and Gabrielle, Melchizedek and Metatron, and the golden beings of light. And we ask first for a cleanup, an energetic cleanup of our emotional bodies, our hearts, our minds, our egos, our spirit, and our souls. And for some of you, you're already ready to call back aspects of your heart, your emotional body, and your soul, your spirit, to have them returned to you. So we provide those, we ask for them to be bathed in the golden light, to be fully healed and returned to you. And now I see all of us gathered in a beautiful circle. Imagine it like arm to arm, just holding each other. Not hand to hand, arm to arm, linking ourselves. And see and feel, most importantly, feel the golden light that just runs from our hearts all across our joined arms, physical bodies, energetic self, throughout our quantum existences. And allow this light to heal us. Heal us on every level, your physical self, your emotional self, and your quantum self. And in this special healing, Mother Mary appears in the middle of our circle. And she reaches out and touches each of our hearts, providing you with the most amazing energy of love. It's divine love, divine mercy, divine protection. And all you have to do is receive. Yes, I receive. I release all barriers to being willing and able to receive, to accept, and to be this same reflection of love, mercy, protection, of this highest divine light. And now, Mary is standing in the middle, and it's very beautiful, just radiant, so radiant, and the light all around us is just heaven. And all of us here within our hearts to be peace. You are peace. You are love. And thank her. So be it, so it is, so mote it be. Amen. Now we're just bathing in the light because it's a lot to take in sometimes. And we just allow it to do and to be whatever it needs to be for each of us. Now, everyone, gently come back. Just allow yourself to glow. Feel it. It's amazing. The love of Mary is boundless.
Thank you so much. That was really, really beautiful. And I could feel a lot moving, things shifting, but gently, very gently, like no love, hard, like, but I could use like almost slow motion, the movement, adjusting things, shifting things. What did you experience? Do you experience anything if you say the words, or are you not experiencing
Totally experience it. It's really amazing. It's been amazing. Like, I don't have words for working and channeling Mother Mary. It's been humbling in many ways because, as channels, you're just a conduit. As a healer, you're just a conduit. And being blessed with her presence is just awe. It's like pure awe. Just, there isn't enough. It always amazes me what she provides. And, I've had many experiences in I'm going to call it a conversion to Mary, happened last August of 21. And I came down with COVID, actually. And my husband had gotten it before me, and then I came down with it. And, I do a lot of, not just energy work, I do a lot of natural healing and alternative healing and stuff. And nothing I tried would make a dent, not anything. And I was so ill, and my head felt like somebody was nailing nails into my brain. It was so painful. And I texted to my family and said, okay, guys, I am plumb out of ideas. Nothing is working for me, and I'm so sick. And my sister sent me the Memorare Novena. It's just a paragraph. And she said, Gabrielle, with true belief, you must ask Mary to heal you for the miracle. This novena it's asking for a miracle. And now I have worked, for years, right? But I always stayed away from Mother Mary and Jesus because I grew up Catholic. So I had a lot of issues. And I was okay with it though, right? When you're in dire need, right? Everybody, you're willing to do whatever it takes. And so I didn't feel up to it when she sent it to me. I was just so weak, and I was just like, just not ready. And it was about midnight that same night. And I was like, it came to me like, do it now. And I did. I said it 9 times, which is what a novena is. And on the 9th time, my fever broke, just like that. And I began my recovery, just like that. So I was out for 3 full days. And then that was it. And that began my conversion to really connecting and channeling Mary. And it's just been an amazing experience. It never is less than. It's always amazing. And I feel really blessed that I can feel that when she touches my heart, I can feel that. And that's, I don't know, it's confirmation, right? It's confirmation for us that we are being looked after, we are being guided. And when we have the consciousness to ask and to receive, we do. And that's all I needed to know. And ever since then, right, I've just been continually working with her in the Golden Beings of Light. And, now here we are. We're working on quantum heart healing to help people have the same experience and to be able to move through their lives with more ease and love in their hearts instead of struggle and everything is exhausting. Or as one of my clients said to me, soul sucking. And so this is the 3D human experience. It's soul sucking. And so our job is to make it so it's not soul sucking, that we are actually overriding that feature of those emotional frequencies 0 to 200.
Thank you so much. I can so feel her presence as well. So thank you so much. And you also have a great offer. Do you want to share that? And for the people, yes, drop your questions in the chat so we continue with that after the share of the offer.
All right. So my offer is 3 modules. And these modules are from my Soul Awakenings Inner Circle, which has been a very small group of people. And we have been working over these last years. So I took off in the public arena, but I kept this group as I've gone through this last year and a half. And this offer is basically the 3 years of this group's work. And there's about 58 hour-long healings and channelings. But what it breaks out to is self-love, self-acceptance, divine alignment, and helping you to access your own Akashic records and learn the method for being able to access them. And, you know, a lot of people would say, well, I don't even know what to ask for, right? Remember, we talked in the beginning about what's the question? Well, for a lot of people, that's difficult because we get caught up in our own needs and desires. And this guides you for how to do it. So it's in there, how to move through these quantum levels that need to be addressed so that we can truly move into divine alignment. So that's the main thrust of it. There's 3 modules, about 58 MP3s. Then you're being invited to the Soul Awakenings Inner Circle, where you will participate in, it meets twice a month live to do sort of what we're doing here. And then the Q&A, where I work with you individually for whatever you're going through. So that you will have 2 live sessions with this whole package. And then I threw in some bonuses. There's the Golden Heart frequency program, which is more higher level healing and allowing the golden beings of light to assist you to heal even to greater levels. And it's not always about healing. We use that term broadly, but in everything we have healing, releasing, activations, and upgrading our physical bodies. So in the divine alignment portion of these modules, we do a lot of work of shedding the armor, the exterior of our 3D selves, and upgrading our access to our higher souls and to our greater abilities, etc. So these things go along. I'm not going to tell you that it's in an order because it's as it's being channeled all the way. So it's really fascinating because for all of us, whenever you do a program, you should always go within and feel which one you need to do next, right? Because that, again, your soul knows. And so this gives you a broad range, but even if you start at the very beginning, you will be brought through, like we have been, to get to where we are now, where the goal is to be at that 200 frequency of moral courage, so that then we can expand into what we all know we have to reach is love, right? So that's where we're heading. And this whole program does that. The Golden Heart frequency transmission, beautiful heart healings, working with you again on the greater levels of heart healing, and then live getting help and working with the group. Because as you know, just like when we all are together, the energy is so much more powerful. It's so encompassing. It's just so beautiful. And so that's the purpose of getting all together, is for us to expand even more, right? So that is the offer.
Thank you so much. And everyone, you can check it out here. So you can click on this link. If you are listening to the replay, in the email, you can click on the link of the offer. If you cannot find it, you reply to the email and we will make sure that you get the link. And already some questions. I see 2. I see one up and one down. So the first one is from Hashna. Have you been experiencing the transition from the physical to the light body? If yes, any suggestions how to deal with the symptoms of this process? Thank you.
The symptoms are that you have to make sure your body, your physical body, is in really good health. This has been my focus for the last year or so, is realizing that in order to hold more light, because everything is merging, okay? We are merging. We are not leaving our physical bodies. We must be here. Remember, our mission and our purpose is that we're to anchor the light here. That means we in the physical have to be able to hold that frequency of light that we've reached. Does this make sense to everyone? And so the physical aspects, I can tell you that I still deal with them, and rest, high nutrient supplements, exercise, sun, and what for me, like, it's knowing what your body needs in order to reach that place of homeostasis. So, for a lot of us, like I have a Vazendu, and so it's a mat that, helps your whole body system to receive the frequencies it needs to recalibrate itself and rebalance. So there are many, there's many machines out there that are doing this now. For me, it's heading to my saltwater and sand beach. I happen to live in Florida, and there is a beach, if you can believe this, an hour and 20 minutes from me that is 99.9% quartz crystal sand. And it's one of only a few probably in the world, but it's just down the road. And when I'm really feeling like I can't take anymore and I've just expended my physical self and I'm exhausted, I head to the beach and I go stick my feet in the sand and the water and sun. And for me, that rejuvenates me. So for others, it might be just nature. Some people like the snow, and who knows, whatever it is, what it is, a sauna, a day away, whatever it is. You have to, this is, we talked about self-care forever. And the other part is merging that light body with the physical self. And that happens on the quantum level. So that is about the healing. Okay. We're not separate. We have to merge. So this is back to the quantum heart healing and finding what it is that's causing it not to go so easy. That makes sense. So your question in the quantum consciousness would be, what is keeping me from fully merging with my light body self? Does this make sense?
Yes, you're super clear, super, super clear.
Oh, good. I like to.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes. Data. How do we work with our heart chakra to come to alignment in times when our hearts might feel closed and energy is heavy? Thank you so much for this amazing call.
That's a loaded question. So the basic answer, okay, is buy the program. I'm gonna be honest. You're not going to work specifically with your heart chakra because it isn't about your heart chakra. Yeah, your heart chakra may be closed, but remember when I talked about being willing and able to receive, and you're asking to be willing and able to receive God's love. What I have found in my work is that it always comes down to God's love every time. Self-love, self-acceptance, trusting yourself, trusting the universe, trusting God, everything comes down to God's love. That's it, right? We have all these layers of it and all these things that have happened to us. And if your heart is closed, it's because the pain of your existences, and then this life, it's just a reminder. So we just add more pain, right? It's a reminder that there are bigger issues in your quantum heart that have to be healed, have to be reconciled. We live in a dualistic society, but the reason it is set up this way is because, let's say you're a victim, or you always feel like you're a victim, like everybody's doing something to you. Well, that's because in other existences, you were the doer to others, right? You were the victimizer and doing it to a victim. So the full circle lesson comes around, and then you are playing the victim this time. Well, the way to undo that cycle is by healing those experiences in the quantum level, helping those people that you victimized to heal, making amends, I'm going to just say, but energetically, right? So if your heart feels closed, it's because you're going to have to not work on this heart here in the physical or your chakras here in the physical. It's deeper than that. And that's why you can't get them to open. It's a protection for yourself. Does this make sense to everyone? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
you are super, super clear. Now there's another question and we have 3 more minutes.
Okay.
So I don't know if you will make it, but let's see. Can you tell when the hourglass will be closed? In the
Soon.
heart? Yeah, let's say soon. It's the
Soon.
answer.
I'm sorry. That's why I brought it up, because 5 years ago we had time and it's really closing. And I believe that that's partly why we're being given greater access, because we can no longer dilly-dally. It's really, there are issues. You haven't been able to figure out what they are, or you've been trying. And I'm asking you to try it a different way. Okay. I have been on this circuit a long time, as Sigrid has, and all of these things serve their purpose, but is now to move into the new human. And that new human evolution has to do with the quantum consciousness. And that is where we're going to have the most significant results and the most significant movement in our baseline frequency. Our baseline frequency in the quantum has to be at 200. So they up-leveled the game. Before we were working on our little selves here, this little piece, but now we're working on the quantum self, if that makes sense to everybody. So that is like my modules, that is where it leads you. So we do the initial work that we needed to do, but then we move into the quantum levels, because that's where we're doing the work now. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you so much.
Help your children. Okay. I want you to just close your eyes and do the meditative state that I just taught you and make the command. I call your higher self to be connected to the highest conscious light vibration of God. And through this connection, I ask Mother Mary to send you her divine love, mercy, and protection. I mean, I could go, I just got chills. I could go really deep, but I can tell you in the modules, you are taught how to do these things. But that is the very simple answer to help you and your children. And it is imperative. I tell my children now, you guys are being forced to do this now because the hourglass is closing. You don't have to 50 or 60 years old. You must accept God now in your heart. You must be aligned, and that's it. I mean, and I tell them, you can't ride on mama's coattails. I know that I do this, for people, but everybody must do it for themselves. And, it's, like I said, it's been an amazing journey personally to go through it. And I'm happy to share it with you all so you can help your kids too.
Thank you so much. It was an excellent call. Thank you so much for all the value you brought into this call. And for everyone who is here and resonating, I would for sure go and check it out. It's here. It's in the email. Go check it out. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
Adios.
Much love to you guys.